The title for the next MonsterVerse movie has been released. It is going to be called Godzilla x Kong Supernova. We also got a teaser trailer. Now, I'm going to go into all of this very, very, very shortly. Now, this is a live stream clip. I try to stream every single Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And in this live stream, I was accompanied by my buddy Zeth from J&Z Productions on YouTube. Go and check his channel out after this video, and I hope you enjoy. Peace out. I had no clue what was even happening today. I was running errands, getting a haircut, helping my grandma set up an Apple Watch, and then I get a text from you saying, there's a bunch of Godzilla news. Want to go on stream and talk about it? And now we're here. So I know virtually nothing. Feel like we should tackle the MonsterVerse stuff first. Then we'll talk about whatever this is supposed to be. And then we'll go into the ride that Yamazaki is making. This is a teaser for the next MonsterVerse movie. No clue what to expect. So I noticed a couple things already. Not to do that whole...
did you?
I think that's a Funko Pop. The Godzilla on the desktop. I'm not sure. Could be a Funko Pop.
I didn't even know. I've watched this like 5 times and I didn't even notice that.
I picked up on Keep Kong and Carry On. I thought that was kind of funny. But actually kind of locked in now to more serious stuff. Is that Sam Neill's character right there in the picture frame?
I'm guessing.
I think so. The other thing is that I picked up on is
be the Monarch character too.
So follow up on Trapper. It looks like it says Eileen Andrews, which is that lady with the short hair in the New Empire, like Gia's adopted mom. Helen Hampton, Rick Stanton. Rick Stanton is the guy that you didn't like from King of the Monsters.
Oh no, not him! If he comes back, oh no.
Joe Jorgensen, who I don't really recognize. And then I'm trying to read, ready for another thrilling day of your call is very important to us. Oh yeah, can't wait to say the same thing 37 times before lunch. Did you hear that they changed the hold model? Music again. Hold music again. It's somehow worse. No, what is it this time? Imagine elevator music, but composed by someone who's never felt joy. Perfect. That's really that'll really soothe the person who's been on hold for 45 minutes. Sorry, I understand you're upset, but at least you got to experience our exclusive hold playlist, a service only a select few have the patience to enjoy. And then death by hold music. That's the conversation there. I thought we were going to have lore. I was really hoping we get lore in there. The one thing I picked up on too is Sedona, Arizona. Sila, didn't that thing come out of Sedona, or am I mixing up the Final War scene with Kamanga?
Let me think. Let me look up just Arizona Godzilla in general.
Yeah.
It's been visited multiple times by Kaiju in Godzilla comics as well as films, Final Wars, and King of the Monsters. So in Final Wars, the Exilians launched their first attack of the worldwide Kaiju attack in secret. They dispatched Kamanga to the Arizona desert. So, and that's when the trailer smash happens. The guy's like, come on, man. All right.
And then Sila awakened there.
King of the Monsters, yes, Sila.
Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to turn off my light here so I can actually see the side of the frame a bit better. I don't know who this lady is right here. I don't know who that is. So that's a new character. Obviously, this person's a new character. But so there's a Kaiju sighting in Sedona, Arizona that's going on.
There's a lot of new actors in this one. Let me just pull up the cast real quick.
Yeah. I think someone's talking about the crystals, and I didn't pick up on what they're the pyramids. Where's...
Yeah, so if you go back to the beginning...
here, yeah.
Way back. But there's a TV that's next to it that is the reporter. That says if you zoomed in on it really close, it's like a multi-billion-dollar thing to help fix New Mexico or wherever it was in.
Do you know what it reminds me of? That
the New Empire,
the stage from Godzilla Unleashed, where they're in the mothership.
Oh yeah,
I just looked up Godzilla Unleashed. Okay, Godzilla Unleashed mothership. It reminds me of this stage. I don't like the There's just something about it where I get the vibes. I don't know why. It'd be cool if we have an actual alien invasion plot. I think that'd be sick. But it's probably just they're rebuilding the pyramids after the events of New Empire. But I think the aesthetic kind of reminded me of the Mothership.
So as far as the cast goes, you have Caitlin Dever.
I like her a lot. I'm very excited to see. No One Will Hear You Scream was so good.
I've loved her ever since the television show that she was in with
Tim Allen, Last Man Standing, right?
Yeah, Last Man Standing. She was an excellent little actress.
Yeah.
Trapper, obviously. Jack O'Connell. Delroy Lindo as Monarch Boss.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Modine. Alyssa Carey, and then Sam Neill. So the only person returning is Dan Stevens so far.
Which makes me wonder about Eileen Andrews. Is she going to come back? And Rick Stanton. Unless that's just their way of going like, hey, here's some old, like just to kind of connect the other movies. I don't really know. But to me that it seems very deliberate to have those specific ones. I don't know. Chat is going nuts. They're all talking about Gigan, Spacegodzilla, Orga, a lot of Orga I've been hearing. Personally, I have a feeling it's either going to be Spacegodzilla or it's going to be an original monster. Because I feel like with Gigan, it's just so out there. And it's not as well known. If you do Spacegodzilla, that's something that general audiences can kind of latch onto of like, I know what a Godzilla is. I can picture what a Spacegodzilla is. I think it'd be cool if it went like into what is it? Like Gorath level where it's like, oh, there's this thing that's going to crash into Earth and it's going to cause like some event. I don't know. And then it turns out it's Spacegodzilla. Something crazy. I really thought this would be really like a really serious like movie based on Grant Spatore's I Am Mother film, which I really liked. But I don't think we're going to go in that direction if we're going to space.
I mean, my thoughts when it comes to the Godzilla series. I love the goofy side. So, I mean, if we get it where like Kong and Godzilla have to get blasted off in outer space, I'm all for it.
Right.
But I don't know. There's a lot that could happen. Spacegodzilla is definitely the main one that's the easiest to go with. But there's also Gigan that could happen. I know that a lot of people were pointing to, if you look at the Supernova logo, that looks a lot like the Gigan beam, kind of, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But then, Orga is a pretty good one. I didn't even think about that. And you could have the Exilians come in, and then that starts throwing the MonsterVerse off in the different aspects.
Someone said Maguma is going to be there. Trust. Maguma, the giant walrus.
That would be the best movie ever.
That's the final bad guy. Oh my god, Spacegodzilla shows up and kidnaps, what is the mini Kong? Suko? And they do that just like in Godzilla versus Spacegodzilla. That's what kicks everything into motion. I can see that
work, and then that's how you get Kong's like way into this movie without having Kong in it all the time.
I hope they do more of a buddy cop dynamic where we actually get to see Godzilla and Kong go on an adventure as opposed to, they'll meet up right before the third act and then they'll team up. I want to see more buddy cop dynamics, like it'd be cool because we rarely see them as allies long term beyond just, okay, we got to quickly defeat Mechagodzilla, then we're pissed at each other again. But
yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. I mean, I'm excited. I think it's a bit disappointing we got to wait so long, but you consider the fact that we're getting -1. 2 probably a little bit before that, maybe, and then we're getting Monarch season 2. So the movie will be here sooner than we think.
Yeah, or I think I just figured it out. There's going to be a giant llama. That's what the llama means. Right there underneath the computer. We're going to get a giant.
Or we're getting another Fortnite.
What if that's a Fortnite reference? So up next we've got. Whatever the hell this is. Now, this was posted almost immediately after whatever this was. Like, actually it's before. Yeah, because this was... Oh, no, this is like an hour after this was posted. It's a 70th anniversary posted by Toho. Godzilla has captivated the world, and now for the first time across Southeast Asia, the King of the Monsters roars in a journey through the region's iconic landmarks and a tribute to its fans. I think this might be a fan film. Or not a fan film, sorry. More like a tourism kind of short film thing, because it is official, so it wouldn't be a fan film. But what I don't get is it says, Godzilla Southeast Asia, Godzilla New Roar, Godzilla Asia, Godzilla 70s. Is that a tourism video?
I got no idea. This could be like the other videos where it's a 7-minute video. I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
I think it looks great.
It looks like there's this shot by the boat, or like here I loved it. You can see people kind of like here in the foreground. This shot of the boat is nuts. But yeah, the scale's right. You know, like everything feels legit. I love, like, this shot reminds me of from Gamera Guardian of the Universe. The Gaios that's up on the like Tokyo Tower or whatever that was, with the sun setting in the background. This reminds me of that shot. I think
that looks a lot like the Godzilla 2000.
Yeah, the spines kind of have that look. I don't know about the green. The green is kind of interesting. Yeah.
I think it looks kind of cool. Like, I mean, it's definitely different. Kind of like the pink that was all of a sudden here. You know, that kind of threw some of us off. But I mean, I'm always down for something new.
That's almost every shot here I just love because the sense of scale is fantastic. That's because Toho often ignored the Southeast Asian market. Now they want to focus more into it. -1 was not released in most Southeast Asian countries back then for some reason. Interesting. Oh, people are saying the green kind of reminds them of Godzilla the series.
Oh, I forgot that Godzilla had green fire.
Yeah. I'm excited. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I think it's just going to be like a little short film kind of thing. But I like, though, that Toho's actually trying to actually get into other markets and whatnot beyond just North America and Japan, like, because there are other countries. So this is kind of neat. I'd be curious to see what this is.
Yeah, and even if it's like a 7-minute video, I mean, it's kind of like those like anniversary Godzilla Day shorts. I don't know about his face.
Yeah, because at first I thought it was like -1. That's what I thought it was. But then when you kind of see this angle, you can see it's just a little different. It's more like the ride than anything else. The design for Godzilla the Ride, which, not this one that we're going to talk about later, but there's the other one with King Ghidorah and whatnot.
Yeah, the Yamazaki ride that he did before.
Yeah. So the third thing is there's a new Yamazaki-directed Godzilla ride that's coming this summer. Summer 2025. I'm assuming it's going to be another one of those like a simulator type based on how this looks, like how the first one was. But yeah, it looks like, okay, so it's the iRide system. Curious to see what this is.
You know, this is coming to Universal.
Oh, it's like Soarin'.
Like Universal Ride.
It uses the Soarin' technology. Interesting. Because I was wondering, so it is going to be like a screen, but I bet it's going to be,
You're going to be like in the screen, like how they do it with Soaring, where it's like it wraps below you and stuff like that.
That's nuts. I mean, like, it seems like, because Toho made it clear that their big thing is they want to expand out beyond just Japan with their stuff. And a theme park ride in like Universal or Disney would go crazy. I mean, like, or even
Epic Universal. That's what this one guy was saying.
Oh,
that's
okay.
What I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That new park, I guarantee you that's coming to this.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Like wherever in Japan they want to put this, like that's going to be a thing. But like for America, they're going to want this in America, especially after the success of like all that happened recently.
Right. Oh, I should buy the Godzilla Fortnite pink shirt for $28.
Dude, I'm looking at that scarf, man. That'd be awesome.
Oh, the $110 scarf.
Yeah.
Or the $125 Godzilla versus Hedorah knit crew neck.